after last night. We haven't uploaded last night's episode yet.
It'll come out. Hopefully
It should come out tonight. I'll edit this one while posting the other one, and hopefully that doesn't interfere with each other.
Hopefully. Okay.
But today, so last night, the OnlyFans thing came out.
Yeah. I woke up and... did I go to bed and read something? I think I might have... Yeah, it was one or the other, but I think I woke up this morning and I read about like the whole... getting rid of the whole pornography side of things.
So like you're saying, is it just the videos?
Yeah, so as we were just saying just before we recorded, what I've read is they're still allowing that sort of content, but they're getting rid of, like, I guess, videos.
Yeah, cool.
So apparently you're still allowed to post the
just like
pornographic images,
pics,
stuff like that. But yeah, they're trying to remove all like pornography side of
Right.
things. Because I can't remember whose podcast I was listening to. But a lot of businesses use like OnlyFans and stuff for like meetings and like secret, documents and stuff. Like, it's super weird.
I was going to say, like, if they're not posting like basically pornography, who's going to pay for what content are you putting out that someone's going to pay for?
Absolutely. And I heard about it. I thought it was super weird. It must have been a couple of months ago about like businesses use it for like meetings and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, right.
For specific people actually can access this and
so when you obviously I don't have an OnlyFans account, but if you did, can you like set the price and you could make it free? And say like
I could only assume so.
But even if you made it free, then anyone can just access it.
Yeah, I think if I wouldn't even know how they do it.
Yeah.
But like surely there'd be a way that you'd see like someone request to see it, and like if obviously not from the business, you can like, oh no, access denied or access accepted. I got no idea. But I know businesses use it as well. So I think that's what OnlyFans is trying to stick towards. They're trying to like get out of the whole, because there's that big issue with the whole Pornhub thing at the start of the year or whatever it was. I think they're trying not to go down that way and be just another sexual platform, if that makes sense.
100%.
Which they pretty much are.
But, legit. Like no one, like I said before, no one's going to pay for anything else.
Right.
Like you have to be putting out some pretty good content to pay for it. Like you'd have to be basically a streaming service.
Yeah.
If you're paying a subscription.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty funny.
Because there's a few people around here that we know
that
do it all,
like,
and people having a dig like, oh, get a real job, all that sort of shit. It's just
I don't know if we've covered it before. I know we've brought it up a couple of times, but pretty much my whole point of view with it is if you're going to create an OnlyFans account, you need to be known first. You need to have a following. You can't just be some random person in a country town and start one. Yeah, you're not going to be successful with it.
No, it's
and pretty much as soon as you start it, maybe the first month you're going to get a fair bit because people around here are curious. Yeah. You'll be like, okay, what are they posting on there?
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just going to die off.
Yeah.
Like you need to pretty much build a huge following doing something else, and then one day just go, oh, I just dropped an OnlyFans, and it just blows up.
100%.
Like that's how I imagine it would go well.
Well, that's the only way for it to, go successfully without like having to grind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, having to actually then pretty much build a name for yourself as the OnlyFans person.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas you're better off building a reputation as someone else and then just releasing it
and
on the
then
side.
You just transfer to that platform and it'll just blow up.
Legit, especially if you just do it out of the blue, like no one sees it coming.
Absolutely.
It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to do it.
No.
Maybe, I don't know.
Down the line.
See how this fucking lockdown goes.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. Well, gotta get that bread.
Oh, okay. Speaking of lockdown. We didn't bring this up yesterday. I was watching the press conference. Must have been, I think it was just like a rerun last night. Anyway, our health minister.
Oh, she's a clown.
I don't know her name.
The blonde one with the glasses. Yeah.
She is meant to be representing health.
Yeah.
And she looks fucked.
Yeah.
Like, if she's like the person that we're meant to look to and take health advice off, you think she would want
some form of guidance.
Exactly.
Like, whatsoever.
She's like fucking constantly looks just run down.
Yeah.
And like I understand she's probably under a lot of stress at the moment, but like, fuck, get yourself together, woman.
Yeah, literally. Like, I don't know if you remember, like when you go to school, when you're in like year 12 or whatever it is, like set the tone for everyone else below you. It's like, mate, you're meant to be the health minister. You've got gyms and shit closed, and you're just telling us to stay home and do fucking
100%.
nothing. Yeah.
And she just looks fucking run down constantly. I'm like,
honestly.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, but that's enough on that, because today's episode, I was thinking, I've just got heaps of questions, pretty much statements to see if you agree or disagree with.
Okay.
We'll just fire them out and just discuss them.
Are we going to do... All right, yeah, cool. So we're going to do... So if we do agree on something, but because this is a podcast, is someone going to play devil's advocate for this?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Awesome. Because we can't just be like, oh, do you prefer tits or ass? Oh, ass. What about you? Yeah, ass. Oh, okay, move on. It's like...
I
get you.
We'll delve into it a bit.
Yeah, cool.
So pretty much... I had one... So this one's just a statement, and just tell me what you think of it.
Okay.
So it's... Losing feels worse than winning feels good.
Losing feels worse
Than winning feels good.
I would agree.
Yeah.
However, I feel like if we were to go with like preferences, I would prefer to lose, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like losing and being, I guess, defeated, even if it's by this much or, you know, X amount of points or, you know, whatever that may be, I feel like that creates a better person.
Yeah. The effect of losing lasts a lot longer than the effect of winning.
Absolutely, it does. And I think, who was it that spoke about it? I don't know if you keep up with... Chris posted a reel the other day, Bumstead or whatever.
Was it him just having a chat?
Yeah.
I think I did see that.
He talked about like him winning the Olympia, and he said he won, all good. He went home and then went, "Is
this it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's,
I
it
won
feels
and that's
so
it."
empty, yeah.
Whereas, you know, you go back a couple of years ago, I'm sure when he, you know, got second place and stuff like that, he was probably like, just,
Yeah.
you know, he's still hungry for it, but like
Like if you lose, you go home, you're straight away just putting all these
100%.
goals in place and, you know, how to execute to win next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to school with a lot of, you know, I guess, not mates, but a lot of people that were almost, you know, spoon-fed. And, you know, they were good at everything because of this, and, you know, they won everything, and, you know, because luck of the draw, or, you know, whatever it is. And you can tell the difference between people that lose a lot and the difference between people that win a lot. I find the people that win a lot, obviously they're going to be up themselves because, obviously...
Yeah, they're not used to losing.
Absolutely.
That's the only
and when
thing
they do lose, they're a sore loser.
Yep.
Whereas the people that lose, I guess, not all the time, but consistently enough to where they build like that mentality, like, oh, I'll get you next time, you know, not like, oh, I lost, fucking whatever, that's it, I quit, you know. But yeah, I find losing just builds a better character as a whole.
It does.
100%.
And like that's because it lasts longer.
Yeah.
Like you win, and then like you said with the Chris thing, that's it. It's just a real short burst, and then that's it. We're losing. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're always constantly thinking about it. You're like, fuck, I'll come back next year, or, you know, next weekend or whatever.
Always something to keep giving you that drive.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I definitely think losing feels worse than winning feels good. So on that subject, leading into the next one, when people succeed, it's because of hard work. Luck has nothing to do with success. Now, this is a funny one because basically everyone, so there's a lot to it. Pretty much the harder you work, the more opportunities you are creating for yourself.
Absolutely.
And then because you get these opportunities, people from the outside will say you're so lucky because you have that opportunity. But they didn't see the work you put in to gain access to that opportunity, which I think that's why people will call successful people lucky.
He's lucky, you know. Yeah, no, I can absolutely understand that because there's almost like this wall where, you know, no one sees, you know, what's going on. And, you know, I guess for our social media platforms, you know, people that are on there,
100%.
We only see the good.
Social media is we only allow people to see what we want them to see, and everything behind that they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we could, you know, we see all these athletes, you know, these big gyms and, you know, all these fancy facilities that they, you know, perform and do shit in, and we go, fuck, so it'd be so lucky to have that sort of stuff. You know, like I catch myself saying that all the time.
Legit.
But like we don't go back 10, 15 years when they, you know, working as, I guess, a newfound personal trainer, or, you know, someone working at a fast food chain or something. And, you know,
another thing is you don't know if it's fake. Like they could be in crippling debt for that. You don't know.
Yeah,
they may not own any of it, but you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, who was it? They own, fucking Deb Bilzerian. You know, he had all this lavish lifestyle and it looked fucking, you know, great, and then something happened and
he come out a while saying like he was actually losing all the money. Like, he couldn't keep up with it.
He ended up just like cutting his losses and just...
I think like he's still doing, you know, pretty alright for himself, but not as good as he was making it out to be.
100%.
But yeah, I definitely do think that there's, I don't want to say zero luck. Well, because luck really isn't a thing. It's just it's just life. You are put in that position because of every decision you've made before getting to that point.
I guess that also comes back to, you know, that opportunity is luck itself, even.
Yeah.
But you just had to work for that luck.
Exactly. You have had to...
It's not just like, here it is.
Yeah.
You know?
So everything you've done before that point, all the work you've put in has led you to that exact position when whatever opportunity is, someone's reached out to you because of all this work you've done and said, hey, we want to offer you this, you know, job or this fucking event to go to, whatever.
Yeah. I guess just to the outsider, it's considered lucky.
Yeah,
because,
I definitely think
we don't see that side.
When everyone says, like, you know, you're so lucky, it's definitely just because of the outside of you.
100%.
But so yeah, I'd say luck has nothing to do with success.
No, I don't think so.
All the work put in before it and everything that you see is perceived as luck.
Yeah, it's all about, opening those doors and, seeing what's behind it and
Exactly.
taking which path you prefer and all that sort of shit.
All right, here's one. Parents are the best teachers.
Parents are the best teachers. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no.
I think, especially like in the early stage of your life, because that's the only person you really see.
Mm-hmm.
So everything they do and everything they say,
Absolutely.
That's everything you know. That's what you take. So definitely in the first maybe 10 years of your
I'd
life.
say about 10 to 12 years of your life.
Yep, definitely like that. And then once you start getting into maybe high school, where your teachers and develop relationships with these teachers and other kids and all that, that's when you start really...
I also find like your brain develops to a point where you can recognise what people are good for you and what people are bad for you.
Yes.
And, I guess...
And I guess that all stems from what you learned in that first 10 to 12 years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like the values that your parents instill in you will determine how you judge other people and, what you take on board, what you block out.
Yeah. I think, parents are good for, the first 15 years of life.
Yeah.
Well, okay, not strictly the first 15 years of life.
Always good, they're great.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you definitely would learn the most in terms of, going from a little fetus to,
Yes.
A fully functioning human being.
Yep.
They definitely teach you, what you need to know and all that sort of stuff. And then, as I said, when you get to that certain age, because all the stuff you've learned, you can almost figure it out for yourself.
Yes.
And then, you've got other people, outside sources that also, you may look up to, or that, you may surround yourself with, daily, weekly, all that sort of stuff that also, maybe like that parental figure, that are even just mates.
Yeah, definitely.
And just their inputs from their families might, make you think a certain way for the good, about things and change your whole, I guess...
perspective on
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
definitely think with the... So if the first 10 to 12 years, if your parents are they become distant and like not going to say loving, but don't really teach you much or anything, naturally you are going to start looking for other people to look to.
Yeah.
And depending on who you look to will, determine everything that happens.
Literally depend on how, the next 15 plus years of your life are going
and
to
exactly
go.
what you're going to set yourself up to do. So people who don't really find anyone and just sort of bum around, that's the ones that sort of go down.
Yep.
Others who find positive role models and, are actively looking for that, they're going to do well.
I also find, like, as you mentioned, teachers as well, they're almost just as valuable as parents, I find, because, you go on to school 5
100%.
days
You're
a
spending,
week.
you're a good fucking half of your childhood with these people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you transition, because obviously you go primary school and then high school, or in some cases primary school, middle school, high school, sometimes those teachers carry on and follow with you. And you build those relationships over time, and obviously, as I said, they get their opinions and stuff, and it can change your perspective. But I find them almost just as valuable,
I think a while ago, and it was like, just saying, pretty much when you first start school, who you get seated next to can impact your entire life. Like, when you first start going to school, start making friends, in class, who you get sat next to, like, if you have a seating arrangement, and they're like, all right, you're going to be with these people and all that, and you become friends with them, that's because you got
becomes your
sat next
friend
to them.
group.
That's right. And they will influence every decision you make, and like, your whole, upbringing. So, I don't know if teachers realise that when they're making these sitting arrangements.
Probably not.
They're just sort of like, oh yeah, these kids seem like they get along, they can go together. and all that.
So, these two talk too much, fucking separate them.
Legit.
Wow. I never thought of it like that.
100%.
Either.
And like, I think back to when I was in primary school and who I got sat next to, I'm still mates with them. And obviously I've made, in high school, then it takes that next step.
You branch out.
You branch out, make more friends, you still have your other ones.
Stuff, yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. Just a simple thing, just getting sat next to each other, being like, oh, you can, help each other with this worksheet.
For 40 minutes, and it's like, bang, your life could change.
It's like, cool, we're best friends for life now.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
or like us, we only met like 2-3 years ago?
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yep.
And what was it? It went from, I guess, social media to then, or we never like trained together, but like trained in a similar facility.
Oh, was it start of COVID where you came over here to train?
It was after the Victorian lockdown, the first one.
Yes.
I went, fuck this, I'm going over here because
that's right.
It's free over here,
Yeah,
everyone's
100%.
running free, so.
Came over here because we live on the border, so you come over this side, trained here, and we would have been talking on social media at that point, messaging each other, hyping each other up.
Memes and shit, all that stuff.
And then you come in, I was like, oh, hey, it's fucking Ryan, and just started to
Like we bumped into each other on nights out a couple of times.
Yes, that's
But
right.
it was more like,
It's like, hey,
you fucking-
I know you, cool,
Yeah.
sweet, move
Yeah.
on.
Or I think it was my 18th. I run into you on your 19th at the SSNA.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I bumped into you.
Yeah, my
I think it was your 19th because I think I was like,
It was,
you know,
yeah.
fresh out. I'm like at the bar. I'm like, fuck, this is sick. Fuck yeah. You know?
That would have been a Friday night too, because that
so.
Saturday I didn't make it out.
Didn't
I
you?
wrote myself off at home.
Oh,
Had all the
nice.
mates over and just drank too much.
Yeah,
Didn't make it out.
I think we sort of bumped into each other's social situations, and then the whole lockdown situation as
Yeah.
well. And then I went, fuck this. I'm not training over this side with a mask and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll just come over here. I can train freely, do what I want,
100%.
and how I want. Yeah, so it's like crazy. Like those small things have led to a podcast.
A shitty podcast,
A podcast, for God's
which
sake.
will hopefully over time become less shitty. That is the goal.
Well, to an extent.
Moving on to that one, so I definitely do think, what were we saying? Parents are the best teachers.
Parental figures, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely best teachers.
Yeah, definitely are, especially the early parts of your life.
Yep.
Next one. It's better for children to grow up in the countryside than the city. Now, because we've grown up in, I guess, sort of a mixture, where we're considered the country, but we are also...
See, I grew up in Sydney, but he meant rural Sydney.
Rural Sydney.
So it was like this.
Yeah.
So it was like this. I guess now it's like a major city, but yeah, no, it's pretty much the same thing. But I guess because we don't know any different, you and I guess because we,
Yeah, I don't know what growing up in a city would be like.
I moved
like
here
a
when I
dense
was
city,
I moved here when I was 12, so I was like peak growing up, if that makes sense,
I feel like growing up in a dense city, there wouldn't be much to do. Like, you have your mates, you go over to each other's like apartments and houses, I guess, and go shopping. Like, what else do you do?
I
Go to the
guess,
gym.
but I guess there's more opportunities in a city, I guess, if you think broad enough about it.
Yeah.
There's way more opportunities, prestige schools, universities, access to stuff like that.
It's a denser
jobs.
population, so there's going to be a lot more
Absolutely.
jobs and businesses there.
Bloody oath. This place, that side of the border, we are a known statistic to have like the highest unemployment rates here in,
Right.
I think, all of New South Wales and Victoria
Yeah,
together.
right.
So over there,
That side.
yeah, that side, the dark side, we must never go there. Has the highest unemployment rates.
What, just that city or that like region?
City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I live over there, so that's awesome.
Damn. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
Just so many
because-
bums over there, man.
Over there,
Like we're growing.
Everyone always says there's nothing to do over there because it's basically just all industrial and houses.
All the good stuff's over here.
Yeah.
Like we're growing as a community, and we're only now just getting stuff. Like
Yeah, true.
we're meant to be getting, a cinema, and this plan's been in. It was put in place maybe 15, 20 years
I
ago.
was going to say, I definitely don't think COVID's helping at the moment.
No, absolutely not. It was a plan put in place. We meant to get the big bowling alley,
Yeah.
cinema,
We
that
got the
sort of
bowling alley.
complex. Yeah. And that was all meant to go in there like 15 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just never come because people just come over to this side.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just
No
come
one
over
moves
here.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're growing like crazy. Like this, both cities are growing like crazy. And because we can't pump out enough businesses, unemployment rates are just
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre, but I think living in a major city, there's definitely more, I guess, opportunities and just everything because of denser population.
Yeah. Also, because say growing up here, all I think of is when you're growing up, you're hanging out with your mates and you just get up to mischief.
Yeah, causing trouble.
Legit, it's just, you'll be, when you first start drinking together, you're go over to a parent's house.
15, 16,
Legit, sneak out, go over a drink, pass out in a paddock somewhere. You just can't do that in the city.
You can't
It's
do
too
that in the
dangerous.
city, it's way too dangerous. Get abducted or some shit.
Yeah.
You find a couple of kids pass out in a paddock, you drive past and go, nice.
I
Keep
definitely-
going.
yeah.
Keep going,
And say you grow up real country, on a farm, and real small town, not much. I
almost talk to
definitely
no one.
Exactly. I definitely think your values would be, a lot better growing up that way. And say your work ethic,
100%.
because you'd have to pull your own weight around there.
You're born into the business,
Yes,
You're
born to work.
As soon as you can work, as soon as you can walk, you can work, It's kind of like when you look at Seth Ferosi. His kids, I think his daughter's 15 and she's fucking pulling her own weight, driving cars around on the farm and shit. It's crazy. And where's he? Does he live out in is it Texas he lives?
He gives real Texas vibes.
He gives
So-
real Texas. Where's he? where does
Is it Georgia? It's not Georgia. I don't know. I don't know the states too well.
I don't know fucking America, honestly, all that well. But he gives off mad country vibes.
Alabama.
And that's obviously how he was, brought up, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's put that, those values, as I said, as we said before, that he's learnt from his parents.
Yeah,
And he's
straight into his kids.
Straight into his kids.
He was raised.
Like,
Yeah, he's going to raise his kids.
Young little redhead son fucking walking around
he's
and
funny
shit.
ass.
He's mad.
He's like hoons around.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there's such a contrast between, living in a city, like growing up in a city versus growing up rural, if that makes sense.
But like looking back on my past 20 years of life, like growing up, I definitely think it was good. Like
I wouldn't go, oh no, I want to go back and change it.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed my childhood, playing footy, all that shit, mucking around with mates at the skate park, or, dicking around in a football oval somewhere or in a paddock.
Doing whatever. Back when it was a lot simpler.
Life was good, no tax, no bills, don't have to work. Oh,
Legit.
Life was good.
Alright, next one. Summer is the best season of the year. What do you reckon? They both have their pros and cons. Like,
I was gonna say, what we have here during the summer is sick. People go out boats, jet skis, wakeboarding, all that stuff. You can go down to the river, get some ice cream, fucking hang out, whatever. Sun's beautiful. Sun's roaring hot,
Yeah, there are the days where it's like, don't want to do anything because it's so hot.
Like 45 plus degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. That's like 100 and something, I think.
Yeah, it's over 100 in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's stinking hot. And there's no humidity here either, so it's super dry. So some days, summer is the worst.
Yeah.
But I guess when we have winters like we've had, where it's just pissed down rain, like crazy, you're almost like...
Yeah, like this past winter.
Bro, this sucks.
This past, 4 or 5 weeks, it's been raining constantly.
It's not raining at the moment. It was sunny before.
Yeah.
Earlier this morning, the sun was out like crazy. It's now overcast and it's meant to rain in an hour and a half. Like thunderstorms. It's ridiculous.
And then I definitely think summer is better for training. Like, I feel...
Oh, yeah.
Because you walk into the gym, you're already sweating.
You're already like... It's sweaty.
Basically
you're vascular. You're warmed up. You're good to go.
Yeah.
And training, I find it's almost more intense because you're warm. You can get straight into it. I find with winter, I have myself warming up for 10, 15 minutes more.
And you just feel a lot more stiff.
And joints feel cold and it's a bit frail. But on the plus side, I love training in hoodies and wearing hoodies.
Yeah, wearing
hoodies are the greatest.
Winter clothing is good.
Absolutely. There's nothing better than sitting by a fire. Doing all the real country shit. But I guess almost like the end of spring leading up to summer is probably the best because it's probably ideal for everything because it's getting hot, but it's not hot to where it's unbearable. Yeah,
where it's just transitioning over. Everything just seems pretty perfect. Yeah, and then it just goes to fucking scorching.
It gets scorching hot here. I find. I would prefer summer. Yeah, most definitely. As you said, it's got pros and cons. Everything's got pros and cons.
Yeah, 100%.
But where we live and what we do, I find summer outweighs winter for sure.
Yeah, well, I suppose that would be a huge impact as well on that subject, depending where you live. Mm-hmm. So in the city, I don't know if summer would be too crash hot because there's not too much going on in there.
There's not a lot going on. I mean, if you live up in Sydney, beaches everywhere.
Yeah, so if you live closer to the coast there, 100%.
Beaches everywhere. I grew up a little bit of my life, I guess, coastal. With my dad. He lives pretty much smack bang a couple kilometres from a beach. Yeah. Somewhere every day. Down the beach, no worries.
Walking distance?
It was about 200 bit Ks, so you could walk, but scorching
but if it's hot.
I can get in the car, put the AC on, go down.
Put the AC on, it gets cold as you get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's blasting hot air.
Yeah, literally. But I guess when you live in Metro Melbourne, there's not a lot you can do. You don't really want to swim in the Yarra because God knows what's in there.
I was going to say, not to shit on Melbourne or anything, but the weather down there's always putrid.
It's always shit. It's always shit. I went to a festival at the start of the year and we got there and it was scorching hot. Yeah. It was hot as fuck. And then 4 hours later it was pissing down rain and we were freezing our ass off.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It's bipolar.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I guess Melbourne's always known for that sort of weather.
Yeah.
It's always I'm going to Melbourne, it's going to be great. What are you packing? Shorts and t-shirt, it's pack some winter clothes because
it's Melbourne.
Because it's Melbourne, and I guess it's just known for having the most bipolar weather.
Yeah.
But then you got people who live up in Queensland, 25 degrees every day,
constantly hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how far north you've travelled. I've been to Darwin, and the humidity there is fucking. It is no joke.
I was gonna say, I think the furthest north I've gone would be Gold Coast.
Yeah. Well, it's nice and warm there. It's good. Darwin is like something else. Like Northern Australia is like
just desert.
Yeah, legit. Like I flew from Sydney to Darwin, and I stepped up. Like obviously you got like the bridge that connects the plane. When you get to the terminal or whatever the fuck it is, you cross that and you can feel the heat coming in. And you just like start sweating straight away. It's fucking ridiculous. Whereas it's hot there every day, but obviously because it's so tropical, it also rains for 10 minutes the humidity like crazy. And the humidity is retarded. You wake up, you sweat. Yeah. You're in an AC, like air conditioned area, sweat. You walk outside for 2 minutes, sweat. You get in the shower, sweaty. You get out of the shower, sweaty. No matter how cold that motherfucker is, it's no joke.
Yeah, legit. Like you have a cold shower, you start drying yourself. You just start
sweating.
It's
ridiculous.
Like that'll happen here on like real hot days.
All comes down to location, 100%.
The next one is swimming in the ocean is better than swimming in a pool.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is hard because the ocean's fucking terrifying. Like it's fun
to an extent,
but it's terrifying. Like you don't know what's in there.
That's also true.
At least with a pool, you can see what's in there.
That's true. I guess it also comes down to what you're doing. Like what would you prefer? A party at the beach or a party at a pool? Controlled environment. People could die, but I guess
having a party at the beach would be because if someone gets a bit too drunk, they're like, I'm gonna go fucking for a quick swim.
I've seen Jaws before. That early morning swim or whatever the fuck it is. Go on. But in saying that, you kind of got to expect a shark to be there because
it's its home.
Where else is it going to fucking go? Where else is it going to go, In saying that, nothing wrong with a pool, honestly. It's pretty good. Like, you got a mate that has a pool or you have a pool, you're like, fuck yeah, this is good, Summertime, you always go over or they come over, go for swims and stuff like that. It's always good.
I think the only thing the ocean has over a pool is the fact it has waves.
Sand and waves.
And the waves are really fun. Yeah. It's like when you're just floating out there and a big wave gets you, just picks you up.
You get picked up and you float over or, It's definitely it stays a lot more fun for longer. Yes. And a lot more interesting. You get in the pool, you jump around for 10 minutes, you're like, fuck, I'm tired now.
Yeah.
I'll get out, whatever.
I'll get out, have a super duper.
Yeah, legit. Absolutely. Whereas the beach, I guess, you can sit on the beach and just watch the ocean.
Yeah, very relaxing.
You can sit out on a lawn chair and watch your pool.
Real good day in the arvo.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you prefer?
I would prefer, I suppose growing up here, I'd say pool just because that's most of what I know. I've been to the beach plenty of times.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never lived on the beach. I'd definitely say living pretty much on the coast would be, I imagine
it'd be a game changer.
It'd be awesome, but as of now, I would say pool. I prefer to just chill in a pool. Yeah. Just because the ocean has all those variables and you just don't. It's not a controlled environment.
Yeah, I get that.
Anything can happen. Like, I remember I was, I can't remember how old. It would have been 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I think my family went to Foster Tuncurry.
Yeah.
And I think it was Foster Tuncurry. Anyway, we're on a beach and we're running along in the water. How you run away from the water.
You get fucked up by a blue bottle or whatever the fuck.
I was standing there in the beach this is great, it was vibing. And then all of a sudden I just felt this slight stinging on my leg. I'm like, what the fuck?
Lashed
and I looked down and there's a blue bottle just wrapped around the bottom of my leg. And I'm like, oh shit. And obviously I just started screaming because I'm 6 years old. And this fucking scarred me because I still remember it very clearly. Anyway, I run over to my parents, I'm screaming. Yeah. And then show them and they're like, oh shit. So my dad starts grabbing sand and throwing it on it. To stick to it and so he can whack it off and shit. Yeah. And I did that and I had a scar there for a few years.
Yeah, apparently they do some damage to it. I've never I'm lucky enough to not come across one.
Yeah, it's cleared. Yeah. It's pretty much cleared up now, but I remember 5 years after I always look at it, I can see a slight mark of where it was. I'm like, this motherfucker. So then every time I go to the beach, I'm like, where the fuck are they?
You're the guy that rocks up to the beach, jeans and shit. Yeah,
legit, I'm 21 years old. I'm like, where the fuck is this little
terrified thing? This little fucking blue thing. No, it makes total sense because they're fucking everywhere. You can just even if you go to the beach, that's also another thing. You live by the beach. Physical activity in the sun is
it's a given.
It's fucking great.
That's your life. That's what you do.
Absolutely. And I see Tom because he lives by the beach. You see his morning walks every day. So jealous of him.
Legit.
He just walks by the beach, coffee in hand, life is good.
Living the dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apart from the lockdown.
Well,
fuck that.
That's true. But I think the beach would be my preference. I just find it a lot more interesting and appealing.
I imagine the lifestyle would be quite good.
Definitely.
Living on the beach.
Definitely.
Now this one, I know we're definitely going to disagree with, but it doesn't matter whether you enjoy your job or not, as long as it pays well.
We talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this on here or just, I think a bit of both.
I think the episode with Ash, we might have covered it, but it's basically just saying, like, your mental health is, like, at a certain point, it ain't worth the money.
Legit. Like, you could be earning, 160 grand a year, but like, you go home every day, you're like, fuck, just...
If you're working 8 hours a day, that's 1/3 of your day. And if you're miserable for 1/3 of your day, you're miserable for 1/3 of your life.
1/3 of your life.
And the other third, you're ridiculous. Asleep, so you're not even experiencing. So pretty much 2/3 of your life, you're just not living.
Yeah, that's messed up. I think, you've got to find a job that you love.
100%.
Like, I guess if you don't find a job that you love, well, obviously you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
No matter the money. I'm sure the money's probably appealing for the next couple of months because your lifestyle's probably going to change.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. Obviously, depending on what you went from to where you are. But over time, you're just going to look at that figure and go, I could probably make that elsewhere.
Yeah. You look at the figure like, this is
something
cool.
that I enjoy.
But, laying there every night, dreading going to work the next day, at a certain point, it just ain't going to be worth it.
And I think one thing I find like absolutely awesome is our generation, we're quitting jobs like crazy because we don't fucking like them.
And
like right.
They say, they're like, oh, because it's my mental health. And parents are like, oh, you're just lazy, you don't want to work. It's like, no, we just don't enjoy it.
It's like, no, I just don't want to fucking kill myself in the next 5 years, And I guess my grandparents and parents were always like, oh, I got this one job, I'm just going to stick through it. It pays the bills, keeps the roof over our head. They always come home and complain about it. It's like, what's stopping you from changing?
They're constant. In their position, they can't just up and leave like we can.
Yeah.
And we're taking advantage of it, which is we should.
Bloody hell.
So we should.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they just can't wrap their head around the fact that we're like, oh, we don't enjoy this, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? Like, you need to make money.
You need to work hard and make money. It's like, I can work hard and make money somewhere else.
Yeah. Doing something
and not want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer to us. But I don't know, I suppose the older generation, some of them just can't wrap their head around the idea. Yeah. Which is, a bit disappointing, but fucking...
I guess that goes back to like the whole country style of living, is you're just born into it and that's what you know.
Yeah.
Some families are like that and some are not.
That's right. I definitely think it doesn't matter how much money you make, it matters how you make the money.
How you make the money. It's a good one. It's a good way to put it. I like that.
What's the next one? This one's pretty random because I don't actually know, but it says pizza is the best food in the world. And I was thinking about this on the way here.
It's the most versatile.
Yeah, because I don't know what my favourite food is anymore.
I don't really have a favourite food anymore.
People used to ask me, and I'd straight away just be like, chicken palmy.
Yeah.
Love a fucking chicken palmy from the pub.
Yeah.
But now I was like, I don't know.
Sushi's good. Like, it changes every day.
Yeah, it depends what
different shit.
What you're craving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I think pizza would have to be one of the most versatile. Apart from just all Italian foods are probably like the most versatile fucking thing in the world. Because like your lasagnas, your spaghettis, pastas, and your pizzas. It's crazy. Like dessert pizzas, all that shit.
Yes.
Traditional pizzas, you can fucking throw a palmy on a pizza if you really wanted to,
Like, the pizza is really good, but there's just some days when I'm just frothing, just a burger and fries, burger and chips. So I definitely don't think it's the best in the world.
It's definitely the most versatile.
Yeah.
It's easy for everyone,
Yeah, that's another thing.
It's just so easy. You just order it and go pick it up.
It's quite simple as well. Just a base, some sauce, some toppings, good to go, mate.
Cook it, cut it up. Yeah. It's definitely one of the easiest foods to make and agree with, and
especially because, like you say, because it's versatile, you can make it how you want it.
Absolutely.
So everyone else, like if you don't, especially the whole pineapple on pizza debate, like
it's literally
don't put it on there.
It's like when people are like, "Oh, I don't like Subway." It's like, bro, you make your own sandwich.
It's a fucking sandwich.
It's a sandwich, and two, like you're making that sandwich. So how can you not enjoy it? On there. Exactly right. I don't know how you can't.
I don't like bread. Grow up, mate.
Yeah, that's not even bread at this point. That's for real.
Yeah. Have you seen them before they're cooked? They come out in just these strips, these rolls.
Just a string and then it just expands.
And they've got these trays and they just sit it in there, put it in the oven and it just comes out in that perfect shape. And it's like, wow, that looks cooked.
Yeah, that's fucked. What was it? It was a couple months ago, wasn't it? They looked at like the sugar content and like how the bread's made. Like it's not even fucking bread, it's like a dessert almost.
Yeah, it's like, bro, this is fucking basically
so American.
Fucking just ice cream bread. Like, yeah.
Legit, yeah.
But not ice cream, yeah.
No, I get where you come. It's like, a more dense fairy floss.
Fucking about. Every kid. Now this one's funny because every kid should read at least one book every month. Now, I think everyone should read a book every month.
I think you're right.
As much as I don't fucking do it. Like,
I definitely read a lot when I was a kid, like all the time, you know, borrowing books from like the library and shit at school, all that sort of stuff. I used to read a lot, like a lot of novels and stuff. And then I just hit an age where I was like, I'm more interested in sport
legit.
and
It's
stuff like that.
funny because I've got books that I've read and books that I'm reading at the moment, and
100%.
I will sit there and think this book could have some bit of knowledge in it that will absolutely change everything. That will change the way
exactly changes everything.
And that's that whole knowledge is power.
100%.
But just getting myself to start reading is just like, I can't be bothered.
So I could just lay here and just endlessly scroll, you know.
But yeah, on the theory side of things, it's a no-brainer. Like, you should be reading, you should constantly be learning, because any bit of knowledge in any one of these books could change everything. And it just seems like a no-brainer, but at the end of the day, you're like, I really can't be bothered.
Can't be fucked. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't see value in it, I guess. They go, read, why would I do that? It's just like reading the newspaper, it's a waste of time. Yeah. So, well, not really. It's kind of like free education if it's a good book.
It's just because it doesn't release any endorphins or serotonin, whereas people, when you're scrolling through Instagram or that, it does. So it comes back to like it's almost an addiction, but I would definitely love to get into the habit of it, because at the moment I'm really on off with it. Some nights I'll read a few pages, like even if it is 1 or 2 pages a night. Like,
it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
But I also agree for like the early stages of learning, apart from like learning to read and write.
Yes.
We go back to, I guess, reading those things that could be life-changing. Yeah. You get a kid that reads from, I guess we could, an age example to like 8 to 15. In there they could read a novel where there'd be, the fucking Lord of the Rings or the Harry Potter series. That's just pretty much what kids usually read because they're great books, I guess. And they may take something from that and they may not.
It changes the way they think.
Absolutely.
And if they change the way they think, they're going to make possibly better decisions, possibly worse decisions, you don't know. But I definitely think it's constant growth. So in kids, they definitely should be reading. And that's why I suppose that's why they push it at school. Sometimes it's a bit ridiculous how in-depth they get in English. I fucking love those ones where it's like, the drapes were red because the character was angry, and it's like, no, I'm pretty sure the drapes were just fucking red.
I just red just because the room needed red drapes. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I get it
when it comes to like dissecting books and stuff like that. It's a bit extreme, but I guess that's just the way the education system's going. But yeah, kids definitely, obviously, younger kids, pre-teens. I think that's what they're called. Should definitely start reading, challenging novels and stuff like that. Just for development as a whole,
So on that, I definitely think kids should be reading 1 book a month. Like, it doesn't have to be a book a month. It can be just at their own speed, but they should be reading regularly,
consistently. As you said, 1 or 2 pages, fucking before bed or morning, whatever.
This is a good one. The night is better than the day. Now, this is obviously during the day you have a lot more, I'm going to say, opportunity to do stuff because everything's open and everyone's awake, businesses are running.
Yeah, we're going the sole purpose of developing as a person or just what you prefer?
Yeah, well, that's it, because I've found I'm a lot more productive at night.
Yeah.
So 100%. From fucking, say, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., if I can't sleep, that's when my brain is just fucking
ticking.
Over. It is
bang,
just
bang.
ticking over. And that's when like all my best ideas happen. Like for all my memes or any content that I'm making, that's where it all happens. Like last night, editing that thing, I went to bed at 2. Because I was editing that till like maybe 12, and I was just smacking it out because I was just like in the zone.
Banging out content, doing.
I think another thing is because everyone's asleep, there's no distractions. It's just you. You alone with your thoughts, so you're just going at it.
Sounds depressing, but yes.
True. Well, it can be depending on who you are and what your thoughts are.
What opportunities you take. I find myself a person that I've got a pretty good sleep schedule. I go to bed at like 10, 11 p.m. Wake up at like 7, 7:30. Maybe sometimes earlier, depending on what days I'm working and how that's all arranged. And I think I enjoy the nighttime and doing shit with mates of the nighttime a lot more because I don't see much of it. And obviously, born and bred, daytime you're awake, nighttime you're asleep. Because it's how the fucking body just functions. That's how everyone functions, And then I guess when you get to our age and I guess a little bit younger, where you can go out and do shit by yourself and with mates and stuff, I find it a lot more interesting and appealing because we just don't see much of that side.
That's probably why everyone enjoys the nightlife so much, like going out, because usually
during addiction.
And during the weekday they're asleep at that time. So on the weekends they're like, I'm something different. But it's sort of hard as well because like I prefer training during the day.
Yeah.
Like, I hate training late at night. There's like, I don't like training early in the mornings, but late at night, that middle bit.
Mid-afternoon.
Yeah, where I've had a few meals during the day, I've warmed up, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, that's I don't know how people can just pound pre, 9:30 p.m. and I guess that's a norm in some places, but I can't do it.
But especially if you're doing like night shift and all that, you'll be all out of whack.
Oh, you'd be so fucked. Factory work and stuff like that. You finish work at like 4
work,
a.m. You're like, all right, cool, off to the gym at 4 a.m.
Yeah, legit. If you finish work at 4 a.m., it's like, well, by the time I pack up here, get home, it's basically sunrise. I don't really want to go to sleep.
Yeah, literally. I'd be so cooked. I prefer nighttime, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Just more productive. The next one is old people are funny. And I definitely think this is true because when you get to that age, you don't give a fuck. You will say whatever comes to your mind. And as a younger person, it's funny because it's so out of norm for some of the stuff they say.
Fuck, I can't think of his name. He's an actor. Gran Torino.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. He's literally the only person that comes to my mind because he just gives off the vibe of, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, legit. It's like, I don't give a fuck about anything anymore.
Absolutely.
Who else is giving off that vibe? It sounds so weird saying that, giving off that vibe. But Jim Carrey lately. He is
I haven't caught up with him.
He is no longer like a comedian. He is just like talking about the purpose of life, and he's so just like
he's not like full of wisdom now.
Yeah, now he's just sort of like fucking. You can't fake being the character like that you're playing, all this sort of stuff. And I was like, wow, man, like
that's crazy.
I grew up watching all your funny movies, and now you're like
complete real shit. Job, and now you're just like full of wisdom and like hitting us with the real stuff. Fuck. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of not all my friends, but I've had a few friends where I've met their parents or grandparents at like parties and stuff.
Yeah,
and they say the most bold shit. I'm like, yeah, you don't give a fuck.
Especially after having a few drinks.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be like, oh, you can't say that because like.
It's like respect your elders.
Yeah, freedom of speech, whatever. You're either going to laugh awkwardly or you're going to laugh till like your stomach hurts.
Yeah.
Because it's either you hear it and you go, no, it's not kind of right. It's kind of like old beliefs or whatever.
Yeah.
Or there's times where they say it and you're like, fuck yeah, that was funny. Like fucking hilarious. I find, they do definitely get to the point they're like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's legit. It's like I've, had the better half of my life, and like I'm probably gonna be on the way out soon. So
I'll say what I want and how I want, and if you've got an issue, we're gonna get fucked.
That's another thing. Why do most old people drive slow? Wouldn't you think? You want
to make the most of your time.
Yeah, legit. Right? I ain't got much time left. I gotta fucking get shit done.
I say that when I'm on the road. I'm like, old driver, what are you going slow for, mate? Your time's ticking. Like, come on, fucking get to the places you want to and do what you want to do.
Every time. Another comedian, Ricky Gervais.
Not personally.
Yeah, no, neither. But fucking, I've like watched some of his, a lot of his comedy, and it's pretty funny. But every other thing I see about him is him just talking about death. He's not real morbid. He's just always talking about death.
Really?
Yeah, saying like how he's not scared of it. Because he's an atheist and like doesn't believe in God or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So he's like, there's nothing after it, doesn't scare me. I'm like, cool, man. Like,
yeah, that's fucked.
It's always the funniest people who are like real,
super down to earth and real.
Yeah, and just like get right into that whole, I suppose, mental health.
And then you've got people like, Carl Barron.
Yeah, he's just like, whatever.
Just like,
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, laid back Aussie, I don't give a shit. I'm going to die, fucking whatever.
100%.
Yeah, that's class.
How good, Carl Barron.
Yeah, he's good.
Next one is internet is better than TV, which I definitely think it is because...
Absolutely. Streaming services?
Yeah.
Sport's like no longer on TV.
No.
You've got like the KO Sport or whatever you've got here, streaming service and Foxtel and stuff. It's all streaming services. It's not just, plug in the aerial and fucking...
And especially like TV was just sit down, watch the TV for a bit, ads come on, and then your show comes back on. That's all TV was.
Literally it.
Now the internet is everything.
You can skip ads.
Yep, skip ads.
You can streaming services with no ads.
You have all your social media platforms which have videos and content that you can consume, as well as stuff like content creators that can put out.
I find I only watch. I guess you could still do this on the internet. I only watch the news on TV.
Yeah, that's
like someone says, "Oh, you don't watch the telly?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Pop the news on or something."
Yeah, and the news is live streamed on Facebook and shit anyway.
Exactly,
and TikTok as well.
You still see it on. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I saw that the other day. I was scrolling the other day, and Gladys was speaking.
The press conference. You're like,
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
Like, bro, I just want to see girls shaking their ass.
I'm just trying to laugh at some dumb shit, bro. Like, it's where I go to not see real life. I don't want to fucking see it.
Did you see that video? It was a while ago. It was of Gladys, and she had the hickey.
Yes.
Do you reckon? I don't know if it was actually. Do you reckon it was actually a hickey? It was like a bruise.
I wonder if it was a bruise because she's old and frail and she'll probably die soon.
And like, I don't know. Maybe
I did see that. I think it was this morning or last night. I saw something about it.
I did. Sure, it's not. Does she have a husband?
I feel bad for the bloke,
Yeah,
but yeah, I
fuck,
think
poor
she
fella.
does. I think she does. Yeah, no, she does because they were caught a couple of weeks ago going on a morning stroll for coffee during lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
should
what
be
it
bold
was.
going for a morning stroll.
Literally, I think they were going out to get coffee during, the lockdown in Sydney, and I
Yeah.
think she got absolutely fucking railed for it. Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. But good on them. They're still going on it. Like,
Yeah,
hey.
lockdown, not much to do.
Yeah, that's
I'll tell you
right.
that much.
The old lockdown blues.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, what a kinky bitch. Next one is just weird. It's waiting is boring. Waiting is boring.
Oh, there is nothing worse when you order a coffee or something. Okay, there's a lot worse, right? First world problem.
Yeah, okay. There's so much worse.
You order a coffee and you stand there and you're just like, all right,
Legit.
look at my phone. You get sick of that. You call, respond to the messages.
Yeah. I am.
Have a look around.
I'm definitely an impatient person when there's shit to do.
Yeah.
So if I'm standing there doing nothing, I'm like, okay, fuck this. I'm gonna make a meme or do something.
Yeah,
I've got to be
I'm one
doing
of those-
something.
Like, I do enjoy time doing fuck all.
Yes.
Laying there just zombie potato mode, just watching shit on Netflix or whatever. But if I say go order a coffee, I'm like, fuck, I got to be at work in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
But I feel just so unproductive, just standing there doing nothing, just
Yeah.
waiting. I'm like, I could be doing something.
Yeah.
And I guess that may come back to, I guess, my log genes, if that makes sense. Like, my grandfather and grandparents always got to do something. They can't fucking sit still.
Yeah.
I don't know if that goes back to like them, being brought up hard work, always work, find something to do, don't just sit there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just like those traits are being just pushed along generation to generation.
Yeah.
Where I'm just sitting there like, oh, I've got to do something, like I need something to do, whether it be cleaning, cooking, actually doing something to work towards my goals, or training, or just going out for a walk, moving.
Definitely.
But yeah, I don't like being, in a stagnant position when there's shit to do.
100%. On that, I don't know, cancel culture, right? I was thinking this the other day because I seen this shit and it triggered me. I don't know if it was yours talking to about it. But there's a cancel culture surrounding hustling and like working hard, and people who say like, I work hard, I'm up at this hour, I fucking go to bed at this hour, I'm constantly working. They're trying to cancel that. They're saying it's unhealthy, you shouldn't do that.
I guess, yeah.
I get what they're saying, but also it's none of your fucking business.
Like, literally, it's like, it's their life. Let them.
Yeah, legit. If that's what
they
they
want to
enjoy
get up
doing,
at 4 a.m. and they enjoy it, fucking let them.
if they enjoy doing it, let them do it.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Because this person obviously has nothing better to do than fucking rag on what everyone else is doing. Fuck off, mate.
Absolutely. Speaking of cancel culture, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
So as of
true,
like
that's
the
what I wanted to bring
last,
that
when did he speak about it?
feel
It would have
like
been
a
like
week ago.
about a week ago.
About a week ago.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there we go. I was waiting for that. People are taking it out of context. From what I've seen, I watched a little bit of the interview, and he's talking about anti-maskers.
Yes.
And, people that don't want to get the vaccine.
I-
And he's like, look, I get it, and I understand completely the whole anti-vax thing. I'm not going to argue against it because whatever, it's your life, live it how you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to get the vaccine eventually.
Yes.
I want to live my life. But I think Arnold was speaking about like those that are like, oh, don't get the vaccine, they're going to track us.
Yeah,
Why don't you
and
get
it's,
a phone in your fucking pocket. And speaking
Yeah, and
upon
a tax file number and fucking all
yeah,
that. They
all
know
that,
everything
social
about you.
security numbers and shit like that. And they're like, oh, my rights, my freedom. Arnold was like, well, we want to get through this shit.
I think, he just got a bit caught up in the moment.
Absolutely. And he said, obviously, screw your freedom. And you think of America, you go, freedom,
like,
America,
we're number one.
fuck yeah, And I guess the way he said it was probably a bit too powerful for what he
Yes.
meant.
Especially because so many people hold him in such high regard. And for him to say that is, a real fucking punch to the gut. They're
Yeah,
like, oh,
absolutely.
shit.
It's like he's just turned around and just
Going against all their beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And he was talking about those that are all against the vaccines and masks. He's like, we want to get through this. Like, screw your freedom for this point in time.
Yes.
Just to get through it, and because I guess he didn't explain it in depth, he just went, screw your freedom, and everyone's just going, oh, Arnold said screw your freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
So,
Arnold.
It's actually funny. Because it's not funny.
Well,
he put that video up and I didn't see it, and I actually posted that Arnold Schwarzenegger TikTok reel that I made.
you got fucked for it.
And yeah, the fucking comments on it, because I didn't see the video yet. I've posted it, and the
Well,
comments
Aussies,
were
we
like,
don't, you know,
yeah, well, we
got our
don't
own fucking problems.
and they're like, fuck Arnold, we're cancelling him and all this. And like, there was just people going at it in the comment section. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I went and searched it up and had a look, and I was like, oh shit.
Did you keep it up?
Yeah, fucking I kept it up.
Cool.
Because like, there was still plenty of people commenting on it, like, this is gold, you know, this is great.
Yeah, legit. You don't focus on the negatives.
Exactly. And it's crazy because like I've seen all the stuff like Redcon 1 have pulled out of the Arnold.
They pulled out of the Arnold Classic. People don't want to do the Arnold Classic. There's a few athletes, I can't remember who it was, but they put out of competing.
Yep.
As well, because, you know, they're like, oh...
But we don't support this.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Which is, you know, whatever, own your decision.
I
But
get it.
I'm seeing so much stuff on social media and like in the comments of that video calling him a Nazi and saying...
I think people get up and quit way too quick.
Yeah.
People
love to just point and blame something.
They go,
they have to
it's your
complain
fault,
about
see ya.
something. Yes.
You know, I find that people don't take the time to actually read articles.
Yes. Oh, fuck
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this?
100%.
They just go, oh, this person shared it. Yeah, I don't agree, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, read the article, read what it was about.
That's like...
And understand it. If you're not okay with it, okay, cool. I'm not okay with it, move on.
I'm going to relate that back to the COVID, the vaccine and all that. There was one a while ago, an article getting around saying that I think it's Tokyo. Maybe it's Tokyo or Shanghai, something like that. I don't really know. Not really up to date with all, you know, the geographics.
We're not good with it.
But it was saying that, let's just say Tokyo or whatever. I don't know if it was, don't quote me on it. But it was saying that they're pretty much going to stop recording case numbers and like reporting on it, and they're just going to let everyone live their life.
Yeah.
And bulk, you know, anti-vax people and stuff shared the shit out of it. Shared this article saying like they're just going back to normal because they don't think it's a threat.
People are like, yeah,
exactly. They're like, this is what Australia should do. I opened up the fucking article,
Yeah.
read it, the whole thing, and at the bottom it said, and they in quotation marks from their leader saying, this will only be possible once vaccination numbers are hit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Wants people to get vaccinated. Yeah,
they need to be vaccinated first.
And people that are like anti-vaxxers,
We're
they don't
sharing
read
shit out
that
of
bit
it.
and they go, yeah,
I'm
because
just
they don't
like,
read the
Are
article.
these people for real? Like, fucking read it.
People frustrate me.
It's so aggravating.
I hate people. I hate people.
So that's pretty crazy with the whole Arnold situation.
Yeah, it's...
I was talking to a mate the other day about it. Like, he's not had the perfect life. And I'm saying, like,
No.
he's, you know, come
worked
from
for it.
nothing. He's had,
not-
like, you know, become a champion bodybuilder, become a movie star, was the governor of California, and just done all this stuff that is, like, so against the odds, and then says one thing that someone
And
disagrees
everyone
with.
goes, no, that's it.
They're like, fuck it, let's cancel him.
Yeah.
Fuck cancel culture,
Cancel
man.
culture is just...
Yeah. I hate it when people comment that as well. Like, we're going to cancel him. Like, okay, bro.
Like, have fun cancelling the Austrian Oak, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so many gym bros like us are like, we don't give a fuck.
And
it's Arnold, bro. Like,
it's going to be fucked too because, you know, not being mean to Arnold, but he's on his way out. He's getting old.
absolutely. Yeah, he's,
When
you
he-
know, how many heart surgeries he had?
When he fucking kicks the bucket, all these same people are going to come running back being like, oh my God, he was such an inspiration
Yeah,
and all this. And
legit.
you're like,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
It's going to be messed up.
I
Like,
reckon it'd be quite interesting to see what Redcon 1 does when he passes. If they will be like,
you know, we've been a partner for all these years.
what are they going to say? Like, or even though we had a falling out. Like,
It was great.
It'd just be
like,
awkward.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched or saw the Redcon 1 post about
I
them
watched it,
pulling
yeah.
out of the Arnold. It was like, I get it. They were nice about it. They were like, look, Redcon 1 were about freedom,
Yeah, he
soldiers
said
and stuff like that,
doesn't
which I
agree with
completely
our beliefs.
understand. And he just, the beliefs don't line up. They go, all right, well, we don't really want to. Okay, we didn't see them have argued or something like
Yeah.
you know, we didn't see that part because, you know, social media stuff like that, you got to keep everyone at bay as much as possible. But yeah, is it Aaron or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Aaron Singerman.
Aaron Singman, yeah, the owner of the
Yeah.
company, he just went, look, our beliefs don't line up because they're all about the freedom and stuff.
Yep.
And we're just not a part of the Arnold Classic anymore. It's like, okay, understandable.
100%. He's the owner. That's his decision. That's cool. But I definitely think, you know, down the track when something bad happens to Arnold or he carks it, and if they come running back, you know, making a whole thing about it, saying, you know, that rest in peace, like that's good, respect it.
Absolutely.
But like start, you know, pretty much backtracking of everything they've said.
Yeah, literally.
It's sort of like, come
It's a
on.
bit
like,
cowardly. Like, come on. Get your shit together.
But yeah, so back to where we started with that cancel culture of the whole people saying, you know, hustling and all this. They're trying to cancel that and saying like it's unhealthy. And like I know people who share all these posts saying like you shouldn't constantly be working. You know, you need to break, you need to recharge on this, which you do need to rest. But
some people's social battery and work battery are so much longer.
exactly,
You know?
some people have different limits to everyone else, and it's them pretty much saying like, you know, you shouldn't brag about being up, and like we're not bragging, like we're just telling you what we do.
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's like your lifestyle versus my lifestyle. You know, we're up at about the same time. You know.
Yep.
I work until, later in the night, whereas you keep working into early in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you go to bed, That's like my battery's
And that's only because that's when my mind just starts ticking over a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't help it, that's what it does.
No, absolutely. My mind ticks earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of wind down in the afternoon and then, look.
Mine winds up during the day. It's
absolutely. Yeah. Early mornings you got the monkey clapping in your head and then you get,
definitely think it's because with, say, my meme page on Jack Memes, there's about
also the time zones as well.
50% of them are American. So if I post something from 10 to 2, it's prime time. Yeah. That's where shit pops off.
Everyone's waking up, scrolling on their phones, they see it, go, nice, like, and move on.
So yeah, like I've posted it and like just had so many comments within like 5 minutes. I might reply on them all, and
and that just keeps you up.
Exactly, and as you're replying, you get more ideas, and by getting this engagement, it motivates you.
People comment something, and you're like, I can make a meme about that. You go write it down or pre-plan it, and your brain's still ticking over. And absolutely, it all just comes down to people's preferences and like. Surely people work, a month straight and go, fuck, need a holiday, whereas some people are like, I ain't done yet, I
definitely think with cancel culture, people taking it way too far, and they stick their nose where it shouldn't be.
The world is soft, that's all I'm going to say. I guess, sure, I'm not I'm not the brute of it all, I'm not shooting shit.
Like, imagine having a business, like, this is like the whole Allen's Lollies thing, how they had to rename them. You've got this business, real successful, and then some fucking 16-year-old girls starting to share this shit on Instagram saying, it's offensive, the name. You need to change it.
Because they've done their research, which I get. Understandable.
Imagine the CEO sitting in the chair just reading that and be like, are these bitches for real?
Yeah. It's
do they have nothing better to do?
You're kidding me? And the numbers gain, and then you're just like, oh, well, I can't really, I'm going to keep the population happy. Otherwise they're not going to buy my products.
And then start making petitions to change it. Then you're like, cool, okay, I'll just change the name then. Fuck off.
Yeah, legit. But then, it's a lot more powerful than it should be, I find.
Yes.
I think...
I definitely because people do it, and then everyone just loves getting on the fucking bandwagon and just getting along.
Either get on the bandwagon or like just pinpoint and pick something apart till they find something to disagree about, and then just go to fucking town.
No matter what you do, whatever you do in life, there will always be someone that will disagree with it, and there's always gonna be someone who will fucking arc up about it, and they will say it.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think the ratio of Aussies that are like, cool, keep the red skin thing. Versus the people who are like, no, it's offensive, do the red rippers or whatever the fuck it is. It's got to outweigh, like, surely. Like, all my grandparents are like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what a joke.
Well, the thing is, there is a lot more people who don't give a fuck, and the fact that they don't care, they don't say anything. We're just like, whatever.
We're just like, change it, whatever. I'm still going to buy it, They're not going to change the ingredients or whatever the fuck it is.
It's not like we're going to sign a petition and be like, no, keep it. Like, we just don't have the fucking energy
we just can't be fucked dealing with your shit.
To fight back with it.
We just can't be bothered.
And that's why cancel culture gets out of hand, because...
I think so.
Everyone who disagrees, like, we're so laid back, we're like, we don't care.
We're like just let
why can't you just fucking chill out?
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, so pretty much cancel culture is fucking ridiculous at the moment.
Yeah, it's very much so out of hand.
I reckon we'll do one more and then we'll wrap it up.
Finish it up. We're ticking an hour almost.
Yep.
So, yeah, sweet.
This is an interesting one. Money is more important than love.
Ooh.
And I don't know, it definitely depends on your situation.
100%.
So, obviously, you can have all the money in the world, and then if you're not happy, if you've got no one, I suppose that can, lead to mental illnesses and all that. But if you've got love and no money, like, you ain't fucking going anywhere.
You're not really going anywhere. Like, Ooh, it's a tough one.
That's like, because everyone says, like, oh, money isn't everything. And it's like, yeah, but it's something.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't live without money.
You need it to, get to a point where you can not necessarily be happy, but live.
Sustain a healthy lifestyle,
Like, money doesn't buy happiness. You're like, well...
Money buys a gym, and I'm pretty happy in the gym.
Yep.
So, fucking...
Exactly. Money buys food, and I love food.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even know, honestly, because...
They do definitely
pros and cons.
They definitely are pretty much the same. So if you lean one way, the other one's going to pose...
It's going to be very situational.
Yes.
So if you're in a low socioeconomic area, money's, fucking near, the hardest thing to acquire. Love's not really that hard to acquire, I guess. Shout out to all the single homies, but, like, I guess in that area, you could probably fall in love with someone quicker than you can find a job.
Yeah.
Because low socioeconomic, your education's pretty shit. Your access to stuff is pretty low. Whereas, if you go on the other end of the spectrum where, socioeconomic is good, like that area is perfect, like a city.
Yeah.
It's like businesses are thriving. You can get work pretty much anywhere, any cafe to start off with. You know, like you don't need any qualifications. Learn to fucking brew a bit of coffee and froth some milk, and there you go. You know?
Yeah, I definitely think love comes easier than money. Like, it comes quicker.
Yeah.
So
agree.
I definitely think people will settle for something they can gain a lot quicker. So, you know, obviously, if you're in love, you're definitely still going to want money because you need money.
Yeah, absolutely. And those fancy dinners ain't going to pay for themselves.
That's right. But in terms of importance, like, you can live without love.
You can live without it, honestly.
But you can't live without money.
Can't live without money.
So,
I guess I guess.
Like, in the general scheme of the question, yeah, so I'd say money is more important. However, it's sort of hard because, if your mental health gets to the point where it's that shit.
Alright, I'm going to play the devil's advocate in this one.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll say you're on the side for money.
I'm on the side for money.
I'm on the side for love because that kind of makes so much
Makes
sense
because
in this
I'm
situation.
against it.
Yep. Well, sure, you've got all this money,
Yeah.
but you're not happy. I've got, enough money.
I know, I'd be pretty happy.
I've got, just enough money. I'm not scraping by. I'm living a pretty abnormal, not abnormal lifestyle, like above normal lifestyle. And I'm with my partner, making me happy as ever. All that sort of stuff. Well, I can't really complain.
I definitely think it comes down to the mindset as well. Because my whole mindset, I could be madly in love with someone, but my whole mindset is I need to be successful. So I suppose, if I become, super successful and have all this money, then the next step in my mind would be like, okay, do I want to share this with someone? Do I want to pursue another fucking business venture? Or it definitely comes down to your goals, and does that mesh in?
Right. Well, my partner makes X amount, they're doing well for themselves. I've got a job for myself, so we're able to scrape by. Not scrape by, but, do well enough. You still go out and do things like that. Whereas, I guess it just comes down to like the whole, well, are you going to be happy? Because there's a lot of people that just depend on, I can't be single, I
don't get that, Like people who get out of a relationship and then next week they're in another one. I'm like, how? Do you realise like a relationship is either going to end with you breaking up or death? Like, that's how the relationship is.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess there's a lot of people that just depend on other people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that comes.
I suppose because they're not independent.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know. I got no fucking idea.
They've got no independence.
No idea.
I would say money and love, you put this at such high regard depending on what your goals are. So if you're a super independent person and your goal is to build a business, you're going to put money first before trying to find a relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're not...
If you don't have your priorities in line...
Yeah, if you're not such an independent person, you're like, I need someone to build a life with and all that, you're going to be out there trying to find someone to share it with.
Yeah.
So, I definitely don't think you can put one more important than the other in just like in the grand scheme of things. It definitely comes down to personal
But
goals.
you do get those people that are independent and can, live a normal, lavish life on their own. They don't have
just don't give a fuck.
Spend twice as much because an extra person's in their life, it just comes down to how independent you are and, and how happy you are with yourself and what you want to do in life and all that sort of shit.
So I'd say it's just they link to your goals. They link to everything you do in life. So you definitely couldn't just label one more important than the other. Every person's going to view it differently. So I'm going to say neither is more important than the other. It's the personal person who puts it down to where it belongs,
You can also create that balance between work and home life, is what it is.
But then it's fucked because that's half the time what ruins relationships. Is spending too much time on the work life, and then the whole relationship side starts to fall apart. So it's that work-life balance.
All about balance. All about balance.
But then if you pretty much don't want to balance it and you just focus purely on one's
going to get out of hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I suppose
they both have negatives. Yeah, that's for sure. You focus on home more than work. Well, there goes your money, employment.
And if you never get in a relationship and you just purely focus on money and all that, and you build this up, and you get to that point, would you even want a relationship at that?
Yeah, legit. You may get to the point where you're like, oh, if someone comes along, they might fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly.
They might go, oh, you've got all this money, fucking let's get married, and they may have this strategic thing going, and they're like, oh, we're married, I'll get a divorce and taking all your money.
Shout out to Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
Poor man.
Tiger Woods as well.
Yeah.
yeah, like shit like that could happen as well. Like,
See, that's fucking. It's not funny, but like I seen that fact the other day. It's like the richest woman in the world is Jeff Bezos' ex-wife.
Yeah.
And the source of income was divorce.
That was their source of income.
Wow.
Yep.
That poor fella.
Yeah, literally.
Well, not poor because he's fucking.
He's not poor, but yeah. Man. Oh well, fuck. It's been a good episode.
It is. I reckon we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, cool.
Always aiming for around an hour, so.
Yeah. Keep it nice and tidy.
Yep.
You know, nothing that drags along.
Yeah, that's right. It's easier to handle as well.
Yeah. No, spot on.
I definitely think that worked well, just smacking through a few subjects, and
It works well.
I think it might be enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Well,
Instead of just talking about the one thing for ages.
spiraling back in a circle.
Yeah, it's been like fucking lockdown fitness goals, lockdown fitness goals.
Well, yeah, it's kind of all we got to talk about, but we'll get there. We'll get more in the flow of things and make shit more interesting for sure.
100%.
Oh, show.
Alright, I reckon we'll wrap it up there then.
Cool.
Alright, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Nice.
Okay, nice. That was good. Ah.